Dania and Adam DeLuca reside in Florida and have been busy raising their two children, Molly and Joey, over the last few years. The family also likes to spend time with their house pooch, as if their youngsters weren't enough to keep them occupied. The family was, sadly, however, about to suffer a setback. Their beloved dog passed away after years in the family home. All of a sudden, there was an empty house where their bundle of love had gone. Will they ever be capable to fill the remaining gap? In a tiny, fluffy box, it looked like a chance meeting was about to give them all the love they wanted. Dania, much as she was in Tampa, Florida, when she came across Heidi's legacy rescue puppy. Of course, now that Dania was here, she couldn't help but meet with the adoption pooches. It was then that she met him, House, a German Shepherd who was 2 years old. Dania couldn't wait to go back home and tell Adam all about him. Though Adam thought Dania was furious, he was not able to resist the offer either. They both knew the couple had to give House a home. House in German translates to house. But maybe this pooch be the key to once again having the home feeling. Fortunately, it didn't take long for him to fit in. In that, House built an immediate friendship with Molly and Joey. He also took it upon himself to check over their yard and ensure that there were no hazards and protect them from the wave damage. For House, this wasn't all work. No, the dog just had to enjoy the children's playtime too. In May 2016, it was another hot day, and the whole family was busy spending some time out in the yard. However, as the day started to pass, only it was Molly and House left to enjoy the outdoors. People slowly began to head indoors. Dania, Mom, you were there to keep an eye on the twins. It wasn't Molly or Joey that caught our attention, but it was House. She found when she looked out into the garden that he was behaving very oddly. House jumped all over the place. What did he do? As the dog started to pound around the yard, hopping back and forth, Dania's mom had no idea what to do. It just no longer looked as if he were playing. Actually, it seemed as if House was targeting young Molly. She was just 7 years of age. One House bite may do some serious harm. Somebody needed to go and help out there, quickly. That was when Dania's mom heard a noise that she was scared of. There were Molly, shouting. Her grandmother hurried to her side almost before Molly made a sound, to make sure she was all right. Just the bigger problems to think about were there. House turned to face the house, and no one could believe the sight. There was a dog coated in blood. No time had come to think about what had happened. They just wanted to figure out where the blood was coming from. Dania's mom realized she wanted to urgently get her daughter. She was the first one to see what had happened and couldn't believe she was there to see her granddaughter attacking House. Dania raced into the yard and realized she was going to have to get Molly straight to the hospital. That was before something odd was found by her. Molly had no damage on her. She was unharmed. There was so much blood covering House. But where did it come from? German Shepherds are great additions to any home. So why? Thanks to their intellect and energy levels. The breed is known for being one of the easiest to train. In fact, they're often classified as the world's smartest dog. They also make their owners extremely loyal to them. German Shepherds have also been known over the years to leap in front of bullets or venture out to find assistance if their owners are at risk. While German Shepherds are animals for many households around the world, they're also renowned for their courage and strength. Perhaps their most famous options for police dogs, no surprise. We're no longer welcome with fuzzy love packages that want to support us. Instead, with plenty of large teeth, with an even bigger bite, we come face to face. Plus, their paranoid disposition and brazen personality means that any danger that lies ahead of them can always be tackled. To support her daughter, Dania rushed outdoors. But it wasn't Molly who wanted assistance. No, there was House. The dog was coated in blood, and it wasn't long until Dania and her mother knew that it had come from House himself. His leg had a blood hemorrhage. Now the poor pooch was hardly able to stand and whined in pain. House might be in real danger if they didn't do something soon. That's when Dania's mom saw something in the grass beginning to move. The pair ran over to see what made the ground move, when they came face to face with a snake. Neither Dania nor her mom could believe it. This wasn't just a lizard either. It was an eastern rattlesnake diamondback. The snake was coiled up and ready to strike at anyone that got too close. As if that wasn't enough. It clicked, eventually. House had been bleeding as much as he had been on the snake's receiving end. So why did he run around before that? The dog was trying to injure Molly, but was jumping back and forth to defend the little girl. Dania and her mom suddenly realized what House had been doing. All made perfect sense. There was no way for House to ever hurt someone, let alone the kids. There was no time to congratulate the dog on its bravery, as the second one made House worse. Dania put the dog into the car and raced to the vets as soon as she could. She hopes House survives the journey. House was not only bitten by a rattlesnake once, but he was bitten 3 times. The life of this dog was now hanging on a thread. House was sent straight to the intensive care unit as soon as Dania got to the vets. Things were about to get worse, however. It would cost House $1,500 a day for his tenure at the ICU. Each of them cost $600 plus 1 vial of antivenom. Just 1 or 2 vials are usually enough, but due to the amount of bites, House needed 4 times a day the vials. There was no choice for the family but to try to help. The family also had to think about how the staggering vet bills were going to be paid off. That was when they were struck by a stranger's kindness. The family had never met Carissa Vandergrift before, but she couldn't bear the idea of House losing critical care. The kind stranger began a GoFundMe campaign to offset the $28,000 in bills. They got over $50,000 in just 3 days. The family, however, promised to donate all supplements to a local dog rescue organization. Dania was, of course, afraid that a snake might be able to enter the yard again. Rattlesnakes are a countrywide epidemic and will often crawl into yards of people to sunbathe. Plus, with plenty of shrubs and places to hide, outdoor areas make the ideal home for any roaming snake. Dania spent a long time repairing the yard, including a slippery fence that was dug into the ground to keep it from being brought in any snakes. Slowly, House is learning to be outwardly more secure. Dania wants to use the courageous acts of the house as a way to show people that they don't have to buy a puppy to find an ideal pet.